this program. So, my name is Sravana-ananda. My legal name is same as Suresh also. I work in Citibank with Srinivas. If any of you know Srinivas here, Srinivas. Yes, Suhas, right? Yeah. So kids are doing very good today. They were chanting nicely. Mathaji, since we are all seated, I'm thinking maybe we should finish the discussion and then end will be the. Is it okay with you? I hope the kids want to destroy the balloons.
Maybe we should bring a cricket.
Okay. No, today we'll make it different. Huh? Oh, DBs. But yeah, I told you different. Maybe I don't know your name. Lakshman. Hare Krishna. Vijay Shekhar. Yeah. Most of you I know, I think. Okay. So I want to request all of you to say what is the most confusing thing for each one of you when it comes to spiritual life. So if there is anything in common, we will talk about that more. What is the most confusing thing about anything related to spiritual life? Telugu? You speak Telugu? Yeah. ఈ భక్తి మార్గంలో అన్నిటికంటే బాగా మనకి సందేహం దేనిలో ఏ విషయంలో ఉంది? Maybe it starts from Prabhuji.
భక్తి మార్గం అని పైకి ప్రకటిస్తున్నాం, పైకి భక్తి మార్గంలో చూస్తున్నాం, కానీ ఆచరణలో లేదన్నమాట. ఆచరణలో ఉన్నట్టయితే మానసిక ప్రశాంతత మరియు శారీరక ఆరోగ్యం సమాజంలో అందరితో ఉండగలగడం జరిగేది, కానీ లోపిస్తుంది.
So he says nowadays bhakti is all like external. We are not able to practice it really deeply in the heart when it comes to practicing it. If we can really practice it, then the physical health, the mental health, everything will be good in this whole society, and the world will be in peace. Right? So we all agree with it, right? So maybe we can touch upon that point. If anybody has similar question. Why is it so difficult to practice? Right? We can touch upon that point. Thank you. So for you? Oh, you want to say it? You think about it. Srinivas Prabhu? So what is the most challenging thing in material life? Anything, not only bhakti, in this whole world. See, bhakti means it's just not going to temple and praying and giving money and coming back, right? See, if you're not peaceful at home, at office, we cannot be, it's all linked. We cannot separate them. So, what is the most confusing thing? Anything in this world for you? So, is everything clear? The purpose of this universe, the purpose of our life, why we are working, how, You can take your time, but anybody has points? Mathaji?
When we have a desire, so we go to God.
Okay.
By the name of Bhakti, we are doing business with God.
Wow.
Okay, I will give you 1,000 rupees, like a hundi. We drop 1,000 rupees in a hundi. Okay, we'll ask some question. Which God? Whatever is God. Whoever fulfill our designs, so we go to them.
Okay. Okay, so that is something that you
So,
don't
yeah.
appreciate in the name of spiritual,
No,
or
we are not going with him for
right.
full of bhakti.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bhakti, it's a business.
So there's a concern. You're mostly mentioning your concern in terms of, okay, it's a valid concern, right? Isn't it true that we all go to temple? I often give an example that the mood that we have when we go to temple, as per the scriptures, it's like we should have a mood like we go to hospital. Temple is a spiritual hospital, right? Other doctor, he keeps the body. The deity and the devotees in the temple are supposed to treat our mind and soul, right? But often we go in a mood of we going to a hotel. As you said, like we just go and order some desires, put something in the hundi, make a bargain, and come back. If you really go in a mood of like we're going to a hotel or hospital, we really don't demand much. We simply go show our hand and show our face to the Lord. Look, I am here, a lost child, give me back to your place. We really don't demand. What do we do when we go to hospital? Do we demand a doctor? Doctor, I feel like taking an injection. Can you give me one nice injection? We never ask like that. Some doctors, they didn't even want us to tell. Real Ayurvedic, real ancient professional drug. I mean, one doctor comes from Bombay. Every year he comes to Switzerland in America. He only takes 3 minutes, $300. 3 minutes of it's so busy. You have to book in advance. And he just touches your this thing. If you try to speak, he'll let you stop. No, you can't say anything. Just touch your hand and it tells the whole history. Your physical condition, your mental condition, your food habits that you have, your addiction that you have, what you need to avoid, what you need to increase. This is how great. Similarly, we just have to go and surrender. Temple, that faith we should have in Lord and the Gurus. If the temple also, the purpose of temples also changed, right? Earlier days, the temple means the purpose is to educate us, to take us out of ignorance, to make us understand what is the real purpose in life. I am not the body, I am something beyond the body. All these artificial desires that we are having, they have to help us focus on the real goals of life. So nowadays, it's very rare that you see pravachans happening in temple. Most of the time. Yeah, darshans are open, but in previous age, in Dwapar Yuga, people had so much knowledge, so much devotion. So they used to go and take darshan, and they can get attracted to the form of the Lord, and it's all nice. But today's world, we don't have so much really love for the deities. Genuinely, how many of us really have the love for the deities and attraction for the form of the deities? In the temple, that was the purpose. Aarti also, there was no electricity. When they do Aarti, that's when they see the face of the Lord. So it was a time rush, they want to see the Lord's face, But before we go to that level, as I said, before we will get attracted to the Lord, first we need to know His qualities, His leelas, the relationship between us and the God. Because that is missing, so naturally we will not have a strong desire to love the form of the Lord, or that urge to see. Just like we have urge to see our parents or children, right? If a mother, I can ask Mataji, her child is in India, she has urge to see the baby every morning and evening. Right? Did you miss any morning and evening, Mata? No, she never miss it. Because she has a relationship. So, and we can also develop that relationship with the Lord as a father. That's when we can, even if you don't go to temple, we can probably go online, check his form and things like that. So, that's a valid concern. So who else has concern what are the concerns in your mind and heart that you want to ask? Anything about material life, spiritual life? Or any appreciation you can also say. Hare Krishna. You want to say? You have any point? Okay. How about you? Everything is going fine? Right? How about you, Jacob? You thought about it?
I don't know.
Yes, sir. You know what? I remember one funny story that people in a village, they called for a sadhu to come and speak about God. They all called, decided in a festival time. So the sadhu came and before he starts speaking, he asked everyone, how many of you have faith in God? And everybody looked at each other, nobody raised their hands. Because they are supposed to hear from him. So the sadhu said, okay, since nobody has faith in God, I'm not interested to speak, so he left. He left. So generally they do once in a year this festival, in villages, So next year they will wake up. He is one of the famous Swamiji, like we have Sri Sampradaya Chanadiri Swamiji like that. So next year they called him. Everyone decided, they made a plan. He asked the same question. How many of you have faith in God? This time everyone raised their hands. And he was so happy to see everyone. Since you all know about gods have faith, I don't know how to speak anything. Third year, somehow they got him again. And then this time they already had a big meeting before the satsang. So he asked the same question. This time all the right hand side they lifted, left hand side they didn't lift hands. He said, okay, we all have faith about God, so you tell them. So anyway, the moral of the story is that our faith really is very meek. It's not really strong, If you are with faithful people, we feel like yes, we have faith. And if we go with faithless people, and we'll become, okay. We're not strong. It is very weak. So that much we all can really understand. So these satsangs are actually to help us build our faith, make it solid. And that is the main ingredient for the success in life. Yes.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Everyone has faith, but that faith comes out when there is a trouble. When the trouble follow him, that time the faith comes out and you go and pray to God. The remaining times, people take it easy. That's what I mean.
So, see that. Okay.
I can say 70 to 80% people, everybody has faith. But the faith comes out when there is a trouble. When everything, life is easy and everything is going well, nobody cares.
So,
That's what happens.
it doesn't mean that when we pray that we have faith, and when we don't pray we don't have faith, or so your point is more like remembering God. When there's a trouble we remember and pray God. When there's no trouble we forget God, generally, right? It's very true. That's why Kunti Devi, she prays to the Lord Krishna for a monster of problems. She says, I want turbulences in my life. She says that when there is trouble, you are there, Krishna, with us. You always be with us, I can see you. When there is no trouble, you are gone. So she is actually praying. So that is, there are many ways to understand this. One is this. Yes, that's why there are troubles in this material world. To make us remember God. This material world is designed in such a way that it gives us trouble, always. The happiness that we feel in this material world is only the distance between two troubles. Right, there is one graph trouble, it comes down, before it goes up, in between that to be called as happiness. That's how Acharyas explain. it is actually, what do we call, like the name of this word in the Shastra is called alaya. What is alaya called? Alaya is a place, right? Or chikitsalaya means hospital. Grandhalaya means library. Then there are so many alayas like this. So what is this word called in scriptures? Dukkhalaya. So this is the place where we get dukkha. So, naturally we want to forget God. Okay? The first stage is at least when there is dukkha, we remember God. That is better. But even worse is, even if there is dukkha, we don't remember God. We try to, be criminals, and instead of praying to God, we try to solve our problem ourselves. That's even worse. This is actually better. But better than that is, when there is dukkha or sukha, it doesn't matter. Sukha is sukha. That in both conditions, if you can remember God, how wonderful it will be. So anyway, this is good. So Prabhuji mentioned one point, she mentioned one point, and you had a point. So we want to collect what is the main thing that is floating in the mind, so that topic can be interesting. You have a point?
I've listened to Holocaust survivors, and one maintained their faith and one lost their faith. So one said, because of what I went through in the Holocaust, there is no God. The other one says, because of the Holocaust, my faith is stronger, even though she lost all her relatives, her father, her mother, her brother. The other guy said it just was happenstance that my number didn't come up, because the guy next to me died, and the guy this way died, and this guy died, and this guy died, but I didn't die. So he lost his faith. So that's another.
So that's why
Tragedy could make you believe in God, or it could make you not believe in God.
Right. It's because if we depend everything on the logic of mind that the mind gives, that's not going to help. Right? The mind is what is mind? Mind is just, it's a matter. Subtle matter. It's not a gross matter like senses. Eyes are gross matter. We have to see. If you get to, something pokes in your eye, you can't see. Right? The eyes have certain vision that God has given us. If He has given us microscopic vision, what do we see? We see everything as molecules, atoms. Right? We try to eat some prasadam, it's all atoms, molecules. We want to touch our child, all atoms, molecules. So, when we have a macroscopic vision, everything looks, from far you can see too many things. So we are actually not much in our hands. It's all like controlled. Even the sound that we hear, we only hear certain frequencies. That animals can hear certain frequencies, even the earthquakes they can predict. Similarly, the mind has certain capabilities. Not everything, right? It actually gets the information from the senses and processes and tries to think. So if we depend on the mind to understand God, it's not a really wise thing. The perfect knowledge comes from hearing from a perfect source. So you could be perfect source for one of your friends, because you have a connection with the perfect source. Not that anyone can become perfect overnight. Right? So the solution is to get on a perfect bus or a perfect train. Once we get linked to the perfect process, then we are for sure we get perfect knowledge. Slowly, gradually, eventually. Not overnight. Since now you are connected with Bhagavad Gita to great acharyas who are perfect, and their knowledge is going back to God Himself. Only God is perfect, right? Everyone else is imperfect. Even the sub-gods, even the devatas we see, right? Sometimes Indra, how many of you know the stories, right? He's not perfect too. He gets into trouble, he has pride, he has all these problems. So everyone is imperfect. Unless the knowledge is coming from God Himself, straight from God Himself, we cannot trust. So the solution is, instead of speculating in the mind, instead of concluding few things about how is His look, the whole philosophy, it works like this, works like that, we should stop the speculation. Surrender to the right process and understand systematically. It's like a science. Science is like theory, observation, experiment, and result. Isn't it? That's the way science is called. This is also spiritual science. Bhagavad Gita is a theory. We have to first understand Bhagavad Gita and observe. It takes maybe 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. If you have a proper good satsang or a guru, you can try to understand the whole philosophy in Bhagavad Gita and then process that and observe the world. It's exactly a perfect science. Now you have the theory and then you observe. Oh, this is what is said in Bhagavad Gita. If you understand the second chapter in Bhagavad Gita, that is enough. And observe the world, because second chapter is called the summary of Bhagavad Gita. We will read 2 verses from second chapter, as Suresh Prabhu requested. One of the verse it says, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhiras tatranam. It says just like body, from youth, from child to youth to adulthood to old age, it's just growing. Right? The body is changing. But he knows that he's the same person. Right? Our own picture we see when we were young, it's a different picture. It's completely different. But we know we're the same person. Similarly, at the time of death, right, you change the body again. Because in this material world, everything is not so permanent. This body, this matter cannot stay permanent. So you get another body. It's a simple truth like this, and then we observe. Then we can experiment. When we observe and then it matches to the theory that we know, then we have faith to experiment. Right now we don't have faith. Let's say we are saying this Japamala, what we chant, right, is supposed to be one of the best, actually the best method in Kali Yuga for self-realization. So this is the conclusions of the scriptures, the sadhus, the acharyas and everything, right? So how much, we need to have faith. So how do we, that's an experiment, to experiment on ourselves. So before we begin experimenting, we need to know the theory, we need to observe, then we'll have the faith to experiment. Then when we experiment on ourselves, what happens? We see the result. So the result generally is what everyone is looking for. What is that everyone is looking for in this world? You ask anyone why they are doing what they are doing, the ultimate cause will go to what? Anyone, like, why you are doing what you are doing? If somebody is studying, right? Why are you studying? I want to get good marks, job, marry, family, study. Why? You have this question, happiness. Happiness is one common reason, right? Since time immemorial. No? Be Satya Yuga, be in the Swarga, be in the Vaikuntha, be in the material world, be in the Pathala, be in Kali Yuga. Every Yuga, this is one common, it never changes. From the kids to adults to youth to old. Hare Krishna. So this is the happiness. People want happiness, right? But everyone has a different styles and different ways that they think they can become happy. Someone has a long route. Someone has a short route. Someone has a flyover. So this is the result. So now, because this is one common thing that everyone is looking for, really. So how do we get happiness? What is one step below happiness? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, if you cannot be peaceful, you cannot be happy. There should be peace first. Right? If there is no peace, there is no happiness. So who is peaceful, who is happy? Just look around, just take statistics. We just spend a few minutes on Google, you can find good statistics. Recently there was a news article, they were saying the happiest nations in the world. Any guess who could be the happiest nations in the world? Top 3? Any guess? Wild guesses? Japan. Wild guesses? One more.
India.
New Zealand.
India.
Wild guess.
They're-
What about America?
They're a small country. They said, I forgot it starts with V or what is it? They're a little country, but in fact their own government. They're like there is a statistic. What is this country name? I just
Yeah, but I just read last week. They said Indonesia, Mexico, and India.
the happiest country.
Yes. They took the statistics. Yeah.
That's something like that.
You know, just they take the man. We don't believe, but the thing is, first we have to understand, right? What makes people happy? What makes us happy? Just try to understand. What makes you happy? What's your most happiest occasion? The moment. When you're alone in the big bungalow, nobody around you, your family's in India, you have a TV, right? Is it the happy moment? When is the happiest moment?
When we are with the family.
With the family. Nice, right? What about you? When you're in Citibank working 8 o'clock in the night? No, right? When you're with your kids, weekend, what about you? Everyone. When you have a family, when you have friends, right? That's when we feel happy. That's why these Mexicans and Indians, they vote for happiness because
No country is happiness.
I know, but relatively,
Really, are you sure that the Mexico is one with
yeah, because they have a big family. That's the logic. They have a big family, although they're in poverty.
But their economy is like they have such much
So-
problem with this drug.
Exactly. This is what will make us think.
So much.
What is making people happy? Right? The Europe and America, they are one of the last actually. Or middle. You know. So definitely money is needed. To what extent? To an extent where we have a shelter, chapatis, rice, right? Simple living. This much, right? If it crosses a certain limit, that same money can become big burden, big problem. Because to maintain, see, the more rich we become, the more miserable we become. Because now we can't even trust anyone. There's no true relationship. Right? You have to doubt everyone, even your own wife you have to doubt. You know, probably you have to test the prasadam. That's what is happening in this world.
But we don't know how much money we need.
Right, and the thing is, the more rich they are, they don't have relatives, they don't have anyone to trust really. It's all, you know, external false relationships. That is going on. You know. So anyway, so we are going out to the topic. So the topic is, it's a science. Theory, experiment, observation. First theory, then we observe, then experiment, the result. The result is what? Happiness, right? Now we have to look around. Forget about the statistics, what they give about nations, right? Look around your own friends, at work, neighbors, business partners, whoever you know in life, right? Try to do this little research. Ask them. Look at their face. We can know who is smiling. Look at who is smiling, who is frowning at work. Pick anyone who is smiling, ask them, are you spiritual? You have faith in God. Try this out. Or look at any of your best managers you know at work. Someone who is most loving personality. Right? They have some spiritual connection. Unless they are connected to God, right? They are not happy. Unless they know the purpose of life, they are not actually very productive also. There's so many problems, anxieties in the mind, they're not able to be productive at work, at school, you know, at home, everywhere. So isn't it very simple to understand that who is actually getting happiness? Who is actually happy in this world? Is it the rich people? Or these great politicians? Or these great movie stars? Are they happy? Look at all these people who get the lottery. You try to research on Google. People who won the greatest lotteries, most of them made suicides within few months. Because their whole life is changed. Everyone suddenly became their enemy. All their best friends. Everyone is trying to loot their money and these are the statistics available. And they are now, everyone knows that he got a lottery and they are like, some of them were killed by the thieves. Things like that. So let's see if any more questions are there, then we can make some conclusions and summary, right?
This, I have a question. this Bhakti Yoga devotional service, it makes sense when we are discussing or when we are when we are with people. But when we go to outside world, where we don't have that connection, then you say, okay, you can't, that glass will get empty, the devotional service glass will get empty, and again we act in whatever way we have to according to the situation.
So that is obvious because it works the same way, right? It's
That's called confusing,
no. That is why satsanga, sadhu sanga, sarva shastra hoy, lava matra sadhu sanga, sarva siddhi hoy. So it is said that Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, right? All our desires are coming according to the sangha we are in. Sangat sanjayate kama. So this sangha is very important. So that's why we should be very careful of whom we become very close with. That's the second part I was about to say. If you really want to be happy, the logic is very simple. Very simple. Just be with happy people.
That is not difficult.
No, we have to be intelligent. We have to make very, very simple decision, right? Just your kids. If you want them to shine, you want them to become, best kids. Our choice is up to you. Choose a school. How do we choose a school? Which school is performing their grades and everything, right? So it's up to you. Just same thing. If you want to be happy, be with happy people. If you want to be miserable, be with miserable. You want to be a drunkard, be with drunkards.
Now what about the three moods? There is happiness in the three moods, yeah. There is happiness in ignorance, happiness in passion, happiness in goodness.
Okay. Oh yeah.
How
Sure.
can you then even, there's like in the street where I live, like every other night I hear these happy people, and looks like they really have fun, all the students. They really have fun. There's like music and everybody's so happy because they're drunk and they're smoking. But you know what?
That's the next point anyway.
No, the thing is, and when I go from the temple, there's a temple, in Brisbane, Christian temple. So, and then when I go there, it's like program ends like around 9. And I go, from the temple home, and I see those people and say, wow, it looks they're very happy. They're very
Yes, a very good point.
and you know what, really, I see. But you know what, and I'm coming from the temple sometimes like a little bit trouble because there's like talking about things and you're thinking. It's like, and then I question, who's happy? Because you see them, you really should see their faces, they're shining.
Right.
But the disease here is because it's alcohol and drugs. Well, in the morning they're going to be like most miserable people maybe in life.
She told answer.
But the thing is, do you want to stick to those
So,
people?
It depends. The happiness lasts for how much time? When they are drunk, when they are having drugs and all that thing, they are happy for that moment. And the temple people, they are just connected with the God. Means they are actually with the God, they are worshipping, they are in the spiritual mood. So their happiness lasts for permanent.
But sometimes this is a confusion. Sometimes you see the people, let's see, and you wouldn't really say that they're happy, and even if they're in a temple, they're more like they're like. In fact, the most knowledgeable people I saw, I never saw them happy. The most people I saw that really have the knowledge, I never saw them happy. Like they're very still, they're very calm. They're very in balance. You'd never see them, laughing.
Brahma Bhuta Prasannatmana Sochati Nakangshati.
I never saw them happy, like they would smile, show the teeth, I never would see it.
So this verse explains that. Krishna says, the self-realized soul, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, na sochati na kankshati. He doesn't worry. Huh? Yeah.
Desire.
Right, he doesn't desire and he doesn't lament or hanker. He is peaceful. But the devotees transcend, they are above this. Krishna devotees, they are always, if you see, okay, this is anyway the next topic that we want to go. Thank you, this is a very good point. We all understood, right? He said, how do you measure happiness? It's relative. No? And she also mentioned a nice point, this happiness is in 3 types. As per the Vedas explain everything in three types, right? 3 gunas. Sattva, Raja, Tama. The mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So anything, happiness, sorrow, lust, greed, anything can be in these three. Charity, we can explain everything in these three modes. So depending on which mode we are in, we seek that type of happiness. Let's say we are all in mode of goodness. Most of us are in mode of, otherwise you wouldn't be here today. You would be doing something else, probably. So this is very simple example that you seek happiness in satsang. That means you have these certain desires. You are all in mode of goodness. No doubt about it. So in mode of goodness, the happiness comes by helping others, by be peaceful at mind, by learning knowledge. But next step after mode of goodness is transcendental. So that means we have to understand God. By serving God, we come to that point, right? When mode of passion, the happiness comes by being distinct. I am unique. I am powerful. I am the leader. These kind of things. The politicians, the movie stars, what they get is the happiness in mode of passion. And mode of ignorance is happiness comes by destruction. Oh, I ruined this guy today. I gave him enough, so that next he'll. So you feel happy if you take revenge or you abuse someone physically, mentally, verbally. This is what the mode of ignorance is. Also, this mathaji is saying, the happiness that comes from intoxication, drugs, is all mode of ignorance. Happiness coming by wearing nice clothing and nice car. We want to go in a crowd and show off. This is passion. Goodness is simple living, but you are genuine. Internally, you are deriving the happiness. You are helping others, right? So in mode of ignorance, really, the source of happiness is all these bad things. And there is in the beginning, the middle, and the end. Always it's painful. It appears to be happy. Even the so-called drunkards, right? There is no taste in the beginning. It's just in the mental. Okay. By the way, the best way to understand this is you ask anyone who is simply in ignorance, enjoying their senses. Ask them to define what is happiness. Most of them fail to define it. Ask them, is there anything beyond this? What they know is, if I drink I get happy, if I smoke I get happy, if I have lusty things, or this and that, if I eat full of stomach, right? This is called, they are engaging their senses in the sense objects. So senses are eyes, right? They are engaging the eyes to look at some attractive things that they like. They engage the ears in hearing nice music, tongue with a nice tasty stuff, whatever they like, right? But ask them, is there anything beyond this? Most of them, my experience, they didn't answer. But let's try ourselves, right? Surely there is something beyond this experience that we're getting from senses. We may not be able to answer, but what is the experience we get? Like she is having the baby in the lap. She's happy, right? Now she looks at the baby in India every morning and evening. She gets so much of pleasure. And without even seeing. So that is actually higher. That is the happiness comes from the mind. And also, we have to understand the happiness that is coming through the senses is very illusory. Actually, happiness doesn't lie in the sense nor in the object. For example, taste. The taste doesn't lie in the tongue nor in the food. Where does it lie? It's in the mind actually. Because the same food, if you give to another person, he will not like it. It says one man's food is other man's poison. Same smell also. You like some certain smell, you try to heat your food in the office. There's other people who send email to you. Nasty who don't heat it, right? So things like that. So the mind has more power, more happiness. Even sometimes mentally we become more sick. If the mind is agitated, we get more sick than sensually. So there is something beyond the mental happiness. Sometimes some people get agitated in the mind. They become very worried and sick. And other people in the same situation, they will not. So what's the difference between both? One person is intellectually stronger than the other. Let's say we lost a job. I lost a job. And my friend lost a job. I get so agitated. Oh, I lost a job. You're trying to call the person. Oh, no, satsang, nothing. I lost a job. How do I pay my mortgage next month? I'm worrying too much tensed. So that means you don't enjoy the same party now anymore. With something higher trouble you have in the mind, right? But this guy he also lost a job. He also laid off. He's very confident because he's from IIT. That's the difference. He has IIT gold medal. He knows anywhere he is welcome for the job. So he is intellectually stronger, so he is not in trouble. It is very, very simple to understand. Right? Even such an IIT person now, somebody is in emergency in hospital, his loved ones, his child or wife or parents, he is so tensed, shivering, he can, anything more, he is ready to make suicide also. But there is another person, same situation, he is cool. So what's the difference between these two? He is spiritually stronger. He has more SQ. His IQ is higher for this guy. See, we have EQ is emotional quotient, IQ is intellectual quotient, SQ is spiritual quotient. If our spiritual quotient is high, if we have the knowledge of how this world is working, how my body is working, what happens after death, right? All this information if we have, we will be very, very peaceful. And that happiness that we derive, so it's logical. Now let's look at this logically. The people who enjoy the senses, what are they doing? They're simply serving their senses. They are actually servants of the senses. They are called Godas. Go is also represents senses. They are the servants of senses. The senses make them servants. Senses use them like a servant. Get me coffee, they have to run. Right? Get me, I have to smoke, that's it, no matter what. How bad it smells to others, we don't care. So it makes us servants. The mental happiness comes by serving our dear ones. Our near and dear ones. If we serve them, we are mentally, whatever you are attached to, if you take care of that nicely, you are mentally peaceful. You are attached to family, I am attached to family, everyone is attached to certain things, right? If you take care of them, your mind is peaceful. So how do we get intellectual happiness? Something higher. So first is our own senses, then is our dear ones. Next is you serve this. So IIT means, he went beyond. He is trying to learn some complex things, how this material nature is working. How, he's trying to be more scientific. So he's trying the society. If you serve the society, intellectually you are more honored. Who you see on the roads and all the honorable people, they are not the richest people. 99% of them are people who serve the country or the nation. Similarly, what's beyond why do we serve the nation? Because I'm part of the country, I like to serve the country. But we are also part of this nature. Nature is giving us, sun is giving sunlight. We're getting rains, we're getting oxygen. So when you start thinking like this, so we want to serve the devatas. So there are 33 crores of devatas. So is it possible to serve 33 crores of devatas? No. So you find who is the master of all these devatas and you serve them. So that's when we get spiritual happiness. So that is the logic. So this enjoyment, sensual, is like a temporary, illusory, miserable. It is so temporary, as he said, it only lasts until the drug period is left. Even the food we eat, we can eat so much, again we will feel hungry. And it's limited also. How much sweet we can eat. Somebody likes sweet, how much we can eat. How many rasgullas, gulab jamun, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we try to vomit now. So there is a limitation for sensually. But mentally there is no limitation. It's far beyond. Intellectually is much beyond. Spiritually is unlimited. So let us try to summarize and take more questions. So to answer then Prabhu's question, the first point is that why people are not able to practice Bhakti Yoga practically because of the ignorance. We think we are the body. We don't know the purpose of this creation. We don't know many things, how it works, right? Within our own. It's like object-oriented programming here, right? Everything is moving, so we're all working, but we don't know really how the whole thing is working. So if we are trying to understand the purpose of this creation, the purpose of the whole thing, and the moment we understand that I am not the body, I am something beyond this body. This is the spiritual life starts from this point. You know, whatever else we speak here, it sounds good, it will stay, it will remember, and then you will forget it immediately. So this answers this question also. The first and foremost is that we have to understand, who am I? First question. This is the difference between spiritual life and material life. Who am I? Right? How many of us have the answer? Who am I? If we all give relative answers. Someone asked in this neighborhood, he said, I am from this door number. Somebody asked from there, I am from Brandon, or this and that. But who we are really? Do we have the answer? So this is a point. Who am I? So what is the universal answer for this question? Who am I?
So,
Sorry?
I mean,
So let's discuss this. We'll conclude with this. If we know this, then we can fit in other questions and then we'll forget it. Am I the senses? Am I the mind? Am I this body? Am I this intelligence? But let's ask questions, right? Anyone has answer for this question? Who am I? K. Yami. Yeah, I think you know Bhagavad Gita a little bit. Somebody who has not touched Bhagavad Gita, try to answer. The Bhagavad Gita purpose is it explains us who we are really. First thing is we are trying to find out who we are. Forget about God. But that who we are, we will know fully when we know God also. Just like we have to see our own face in the mirror, right? We go in the dark, can we see? We need a light, sunlight or some light. So without light we can't even see ourselves. Similarly, to understand who am I, we have to understand also who is God. It both goes hands in hand. So at least this interest we should get first. So let us, anybody has a volunteers to answer this question? K. Ami. Who am I? This is the first step in spiritual life. If I am the body, satsang doesn't make sense to me. I better, take care of my health. Go to gym, focus on how to maintain this body longer, research more about good diet, research more about how do I become attractive, this and that. This makes sense. This doesn't make sense. Why should I come here? Maybe it's just giving some peace of mind, okay. For that sense, yes, it makes sense. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to spend any more time spending with Suresh, Prabhu or Sandhya mathaji. If we are the body, right? It's better to ignore them. If we are the body. But if we are not the body, if we are something higher, then it makes ultimate sense. So our whole activities depends on what we are, right? Our goals. Just like the kids, they don't know what the purpose of life is, right? If you let them go, simply 24 hours they try to play, and when they're hungry they simply cry. They don't even realize they're hungry. Somebody has to feed them. So this is the same situation. If we don't know who we are, we will simply go on working, until we fall sick, and then take a break and go and join some healthcare thing. So what is making us behave is this knowledge of ourselves. So before I start concluding this topic, right, it will be nice if you can please help.
I think we are a combination of past, present, future.
Okay.
Okay, no, I don't know about the future too much.
Everyone is just 1 minute.
At least, because sometimes you get somewhere and you think, wow, you know, either you experienced it before, or there's no way I could have been in this situation without something being you did in your past life, etc. And then it's all combination. I don't know what the exact ratio
Okay,
is.
so if somebody has a clear understanding who we are, logically, don't quote some Bhagavad Gita or something, you know. Our experience, what is our experience in life says that, what are we? What is the, or you can probably answer, what's the purpose of life? తెలుగులో చెప్పండి.
ఇంగ్లీష్లో
చెప్పండి.
ఏది మంచి చెడు గుర్తుంచుకోవాలి ఒకటి.
ఓకే.
నేను ఇతరులకు నష్టం చేయకుండా ఉంటున్నాను, మళ్ళీ ఇతరులకు సహాయం చేయగలుగుతున్నాను. అలాగని ఈ సమాజానికి సంయుక్తంగా ఉన్నాను, ఉపయోగపడేట్టు ఉన్నాను. నేను జీవించి ఒక ప్రయోజనాన్ని పొందగలుగుతున్నాను, ఒక సంతృప్త మరియు ఆధ్యాత్మికంగా అనుకోండి, ఆధ్యాత్మికంగా భౌతికంగా సంతృప్తి పొందగలుగుతున్నాను అనేది.
So here's a very good point. He's saying that first we have to, last point he mentioned is, am I getting spiritual happiness? Am I useful to others? Am I helping others? Things like this. But how many of us believe that that we are just this body? And how many of you think that we are just these bodies? That these bodies evolved by some chemical combination, as some scientists speculate. Some of them speculate like this.
We behave according to the education we get, right? In schools, whatever education we get, they get a good job, work, earn money, take care of your parents and family. That's what we get. So that's what we behave in
the
day-to-day
society.
life. Yeah, in the society. So that's what we think, right? We are this body. So these are the duties that we got to perform.
That's true. That's true. That's why Prabhuji said also, it's relative, right? Am I helping others? Yesterday night we were discussing for 2 hours, right? What is the best help we can do? We are comparing social service with devotional service, right? So many things came up, so many questions, so many thoughts. So it's all relative about our realization who we are. So it again depends on what kind of people we associate with, where we get the knowledge. So let's make some conclusions. So
in fact, it can be easily proven. The thing is, we are seeing in the society, if somebody passes away, the same thing, the body is there, and we are saying that he is there, but we are still claiming that he is not there, he passed away. So what is left out of the
Right.
body? It can be easily proven that something is missing. Though
Right.
everything is there, the gross body is there, but still we are saying that it's not there.
So he's saying, just like if the small children, they are attached to grandfather, very much, right? When sometimes grandfathers or grandmothers, grandparents leave the body, so we say he's gone. The small child, he said, where is he gone? He's there, right? So how do we answer the small child now? He's attached to the body. He says he is there. Why you are all crying? And we say, any language you may speak, Hindi, English, Marathi, Russian, anything in the world, everyone says he is gone. This is the meaning. Common sense everyone uses. So the child will say, no, he is there. No, you're saying he is gone. So all these days I am playing with him. You mean to say it is not that person? What do you mean by he is gone? So I've been playing with him, he's just sleeping. He'll wake up, stop crying. You fools. This kid will say like this, and you say, no, he is gone. So what does it mean? So all these days, this small kid is attached to this body. You're saying that body is not the real person? Then who are we? So this is where the spiritual life begins. So we should be able to explain our own children, who we are and what is the difference between the body and the person.
And in fact, in real time also, real time scenarios also, we pretend as if we are not the body. For example, if I am saying this is my mobile, I can say that this is my mobile means I am different and this mobile is different.
Right.
This is my shirt, I am different and this my shirt is different. Same way, I am saying this is my body.
Right.
So I am different and my body is different. Right. And tomorrow I am saying I got fever. That's where Maya comes, right?
Right.
I cannot get fever. In fact, if the I mean to my soul.
My body got fever.
My body got fever. But if you say that, people look at us like as we are.
I think we should use such language at least among ourselves. So we can keep remembering. So anyway, so let us conclude. We have nice points, right? He said we use in daily language. Even in the emails, I generally use this example, right? We say myself. We don't say my body. Srinivas and myself did this. Srinivas and my body did this. If I say, what your body, what do you mean by it? Right? Right? So what is the self? So we have to, the satsang means to understand the self. Really. There is nothing, that's the difference between material and spiritual life. So we can understand what is the self. That is the first step in spiritual life. It doesn't mean, oh, I know I've done so many pujas, I've done so many donations, and I saw mantras, I know this, no, I know that, right? No, that doesn't really make sense. Unless we know what is the self and what is the relation between the self and the God, right? And how do we improve this relationship? Sambandha, prayojana, sambandha, abhideya, prayojana. These three things, right? So let us conclude now. We are not these bodies. First point. This is the first and foremost point. We are not these bodies, right? The body is like a complex machine. We have so many machines, right? How many I have right now? iPhone, sound machine. This is another. So many things we have. I am using these things. So similarly, I am using this body also. This body is the most complex machine. So in the brain there are trillions of cells. Each cell is far more complex than the most sophisticated machine in this world. It's much more, like 1,000 million times better than this Apple products. Each cell.
They call it as this body is a hardware and that's a software.
Software. So this I am using this machine. Just like everyone has a different machine. So I have a version 4, he has version 4S, and somebody has version 3G iPhone, right? So similarly, everybody has different versions of the body, based on what? Based on our, and next we are upgrading also. Just like we upgrade based on our salary, we upgrade to apartment, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, or an independent house, or we change our cars, right? Either Toyota or Mercedes or different brands, based on what we have. Similarly, they're based on what the soul, the quality of the soul and the karma, we have acquired these machines. So we're using these machines, and we should treat this like a boat, a nice boat that can help us go back to where we came from. This human body, especially human life, is very durlabha, very rare to achieve. All the other living entities, they are not as powerful as human beings, right? They also can. What's the difference between them and us?
No intelligence.
Thinking is different.
Sorry?
Thinking is different.
No, they also think.
Longer life?
Sorry?
Longer life?
No, but what does it mean? Trees live 5,000 years.
Spiritual life. Realization.
Spiritual life. We can ask this question, who am I? They cannot ask this question. That's the only difference. They are also intelligent. They are also running on 4 legs. They are also eating. They are also sleeping. They are also mating. They are also defending. But they are doing it in a simple way, doing it in a sophisticated way. So we can ask this question, who am I? They cannot ask this question. So that's why this human form is called like a special boat that carries ourselves in this material ocean, Dukkalaya, where every step is a misery. Every padam vipadam, every step there is a danger in this material world. So this body can help us cross this ocean. But if we indulge too much in sense gratification, this boat will get leaks and the water will come in and will sink. But this rudder for this boat is the tug. Just like any boat, big boat, but you simply have little direction. You this way, the whole boat will go this way. This way, like this, the tongue is called the rudder. How we engage our tongue makes us progress. So little advancement in spiritual life can give us so much peace. Little knowledge can give us so much peace. The knowledge that we get can help us avoid suffering. There may be pain in this world, but same pain, some people suffer, some people don't suffer. Because when there is ignorance and pain combination, suffering is too much, unbearable. Like I give my own example. If I have a headache and I don't know why it is there, suffering is much more, 100 times more. But if I know the root cause for this pain, then it is much lesser. I used to suffer when I was young. I used to get headache here. But when doctor told me it's a sinus headache, everything is revealed. Before that I was thinking maybe I'm going to die very soon, maybe 2-3 years. Every time this headache comes, I feel sick. Why this brain tumor I have? Things like that. So he tell, no, it is just a sinus. You just take some medicine and it will go. Immediately I got relief. And I was ready to cut my brain and operate it before. After he told this, I didn't. Till now it is coming, it doesn't bother me now. See, this is how big difference we will get in life. The moment we get the theory is the knowledge, right? The knowledge can signal everyone is suffering. But we don't know, if we don't know why we are suffering. And everyone is waiting. How are we, we ask, right? Because we are not sure how you are every moment, every person. There are so many dangers. So, first of all, this knowledge can help kill our suffering. And similarly, doctor gives a medicine, right? He gives a medicine. Similarly, the medicine that we get when we can take some time out for the satsangs and reading Bhagavad Gita, chanting, is that the chanting itself is a medicine. Satsang itself is like a medicine that we all get. So we feel so revealed, just like when you are deceased and we know what the disease is, why the root cause is and what the medicine is, when it will end, especially when you are with family, although we are deceased, when we don't suffer so much. When we are, compared to when we are alone. Isn't it true? Same thing happens. When we are among the devotees in the satsang, when we share the knowledge from each other, and these devotees are the true friends, because they are not looking for money. They themselves are not interested in money. So they are not looking to cheat you, loot you. They are not looking for praise from you or some gossip from you. Right? They are true friends. Just like Paramatma is a true friend. He is coming life after life. Many bodies. So when it is like we are all materially diseased. We all have fever, material fever. So in ignorance what we are thinking is, just like this funny story, one landlady, she has a maid. This landlady, she's always very proud. She wants everything to be always on the top, right? So she got a fever 104. And this, unfortunately, same day the maid also got fever, 106. Okay, the husband told, maid also got fever, 106. We have to give her rest, but friend, how can she get more fever than me? So she's so upset. She's just a maid, how can she get more fever? So our situation is like that. We see somebody is more Maya, you think, why is he more? Why is he getting more? It's not about how much anxiety he is and how simple we are is what is needed. We can adopt a simple living, then we get more time for other things. When we can, as long as we don't make life simple, and we can really, although we are interested, everything is going okay, but we will never get time. So when we realize that I'm not the body, when we realize definitely I'm not the body, I'm not the combination of these chemicals. If you are the chemicals, then where are these feelings, willings and thought process coming from? Right? So this is the first step, and then this is the theory. Please observe and try to experiment yourself, and then it makes more sense to do chanting. If I am the body, it doesn't make sense to do chanting, to understand Bhagavad Gita, to pray to God. Scientifically, we should understand who is God, whether He exists. Scientifically, we can help because we heard from Acharyas, right, the theory, and we experimented, we are seeing, and He reciprocates with us. But taste, we have to ourselves taste it. It's just not a theory. Unless we chant, unless we practice, right, this is experiment. Unless this experiment we have to conduct on our own, the result will be same. So I would stop here because it's going on and on. Bhagavad Gita, one sloka we can read if everyone can repeat it. One sloka from 2nd chapter.
Okay, phone.
Oh, okay. So we'll read a verse from 2nd chapter. Page number 104. Chapter 2, verse number 22. 222. Chapter 2, verse 22. Page number 104. So we'll all try to repeat, and whoever can follow, they can also repeat. So line by line. Vasamsi jinani yata vihaya navani grihnati naro parani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. Somebody else? Vasamsi jinani yata vihaya navani grihnati naro parani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. Chapter 2, verse 22. We need 3 volunteers from Mathaji's, 3 from Prabhu's. At least 6 times we can repeat so we can remember this verse. So Mataji, you can start.
Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya
Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya
navani
नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
नव्यानि गृहाणि नरोपराणि
नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि One more.
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
नवानि गृह्णाति वरोपराणि
नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि
तदा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
संयाति नवानि देहि
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि Anyone else? Mathaji, would you like to read? 2:22, chapter 2, verse 22.
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि
नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि Can you try?
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि
नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि Srinivas, can you try? What should Jacob? Meanwhile, he should pray for it.
वासांसि जीर्णानि यातानि वायायि आहाय
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
नवानि विहाय नरोपराणि
नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
इनानि संयाति नवानि देहि
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि Anybody else would like to try?
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि
नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि
तथा तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि. Mataji, would you like to try?
Vasamsi girnani yata viyapana.
Vasamsi जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
Navati gridnati naroparani.
नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि
Tata sarirani vahaya jirnani.
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
Anyani samyati navani dehi.
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि. So the translation, you can repeat after me word by word. Vasamsi, garments. Jirnani, old and worn out. Yatha, just as. Vihaya, giving up. Navani, new garments. Grihnati, does accept. Nara, man. Aparani, others. Tatha, in the same way. Sharirani, bodies. Vihaya, giving up. Jirnani, old and useless. Anyani, different. Samyati, really accepts. Navani, new sets. Dehi, the embodied. As a person puts on new garments, giving up the old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and the useless ones. So this is the conclusion. We all try to understand, right? So just like Krishna is so kind that he is trying to give us simple examples to understand. There is no need for God to come and do this Mahabharata show and Bhagavad Gita show. Is there a need? He can send some of his children, some acharyas are coming, but he personally is coming on this planet to do leelas with his devotees, right? To help us, to attract us only he is coming here. He can just stay in Vaikuntha or Goloka. He has so many. Actually, the population in this world is only very little compared to the population in the Vaikuntha or the spiritual world. 1/4 only material world is there. 3/4 is there. Just like the prison population. Compared to Tampa and the Tampa prison, maybe 0.001% will be in the prison. Right? So he is coming just to attract the prison population. So this world is actually Dukkalayam, or it's like a hospital. So Krishna is coming like a supreme doctor. He's checking the diseases, everyone, giving tips. Or a jailer. He's going like a jailer. Sometimes he gives presidential pardon to some of the prisoners. So he is making this whole Mahabharatam show because we are interested in, what are we interested in? What are people generally interested in? Politics, family issues, this and that. So he made a nice Mahabharata show. And Mahabharata, if Mahabharata is compared to be like a Kirita, and this Bhagavad Gita is like a jewel in the Kirita. This is the main thing. So just before the war, he is speaking, just to make us attract. Everyone is curious, right? What happened? Fighting, we are very curious. So in between this fighting, he is putting us very nicely. And this Bhagavad Gita is going on in every planet. The material planet. Each planet, Krishna is going and doing the show with Arjuna. Nitya, this Leela is happening always. It's not just once it happened and we got Bhagavad. No. He is just visiting and he is attracting all this. So what is our problem? Our problem is we are envious of Krishna, or Vishnu, or Rama, or God. We are supposed to be connected with him in the spiritual world nicely, put him in the center, we have a relation with him. But somehow or other we were envious. So we want to be in the center. So he sent us here. He designed these worlds where we can all think I am the center of this world. Each one of us thinking the center. So and we are frustrated because of these attempts that we are making, keeping ourselves in the center. It's never working. Because everyone is, trying to get attention. In the parties, if you go and see, that's what is happening. Everyone is trying to show off their dress and their act. Everyone is trying to speak about themselves. Right? And we're getting frustrated. So Krishna is so merciful. And he is acting like a chariot driver for Arjuna. You see? Some pure devotees, they cry looking at this position that God has taken. Chariot driver means sometimes in the war, you can't even tell, you have to kick that person. Go left and right. That position he has taken. And he has shown so many of his wonderful qualities for us to get attracted. When we hear about Krishna, just like we hear about a nice person, if a young boy hears about a nice girl, so he falls in love with her, or a young boy and girl. So when we hear about somebody, good qualities, what happens? Naturally, we fall in love. So this is how he is displaying so many leelas in Vrindavan and in all the places, so that we can fall in love with him. Supreme love. Just like we fall in love with mother, father. So we want to fall in love with Krishna because he has amazing qualities. And look how examples he is picking us for us. Just like children. Just like you give up useless shirt, you give up this body. Don't worry. And he says similarly accept a new body. So we have been accepting newer and newer bodies. So the logic is at the time of death, whatever is our desire in the mind, and he is so kind actually. So the conclusion summary is that we discuss all these points, right? God is, so we are qualitatively like him. Whatever qualities we have, God also has, but he has in full, 100%. We have in minute, right? We are love, we are attractive, we are powerful, he has in full. So, just like if you have like 10 children, maybe you should ask this question to the elder people, right? If you have 10 children, you want somebody, everyone doesn't want to live with you, serve you, they want to be independent. So you let them live independent. You don't want to force them, right? Or if you don't stay with me, I will not give you any help. No? We don't say, as I said. So similarly, God doesn't force us. He doesn't. The moment you force, it's called love. Can you put a gun and make somebody love you? How long they will love? So that is why he never want to force us. He let us go, but he is truly, genuinely trying to attract us back. So, and he is giving us many, many bodies. Whatever body we desire and we are capable of taking it, he is giving us. These three modes, three gunas, different thought process, different natures, desires. He has given us 84 lakh samples of bodies. We can go in these 84 lakh different types of bodies and enjoy. And try to be in the center. But anyway, after going through all these cycles, we have acquired this human body, Durlabham, Manava Janma. This is very rare. So this body, after a human body, is like an intermediate platform. At the end of this body, whatever may be our desire at the time of death, that kind of, whatever we, it says that it's like a movie reel that goes on just like now we think in the past, so many memories come up, right? Similarly, at the time of death, whatever we remember, that kind of body he will give us. So what do we want to remember? What do we generally remember? What kind of dreams we are getting now? That is our desire actually. That is what we will remember at the time. So if you can dream about Krishna, that means be sure you go back to Krishna. If you are dreaming about something else, be sure, there are more chances that we become like that. So he is so kind, he is so merciful, he gives us many, many chances. He is always waiting for us to come back. So our attempt is that we don't want to, this material world makes us ultimately go back after taking so much suffering. But what Vaishnavas, what devotees does is they don't want us to suffer like this. Life after life, and in illusion. So they want us to go back quickly. At the same time, we don't want to ignore this material life. Ours is the best process. Vaishnava process is very simple. We don't recommend giving up families, giving up job, giving up business, go to Himalayas. All we have to do is put God in the center of life. We have to come out of the center, put him in. We have to remove the TV from the center and put deities in there. That's all. That's the only thing we have to do. And everything else work like a magic, miracle. Whole thing with all problems in home will change, will be vanished within no time. So, and another thing is we have to, Kali Yuga, the most important thing is to chant his names. The tongue, like I said, tongue has to be always engaged in chanting his names, eating his prasadam, talking and hearing about him. So we have a good fortune. Now we have come so close. We have acquired human form. That itself is a big miracle. And we could have got any other 84 lakh different species where we get no chance to think about God. Now, after becoming human being, people are so busy in indriya trupti, sense gratification. So caught up in different things. Taking birth in pious countries and getting in touch with sadhus or any gurus and any of these processes is like coming very close actually. We're almost there. It's so difficult. So if we can let's not ignore, let's not play with this human form. So that is our sincere, humble request. So please, so we are trying to purify ourselves by serving the people like who are interested especially. So this is our service to our Guru. So you inspire us by, we are all in the spiritual journey. Some of you are probably taking the rest area. There is a spiritual highway going. Some of us are taking exit, some of us are coming out from the rest area, some of us are already on the road. It doesn't mean somebody is superior or inferior. So once you take the exit again back to the road, some of you may be ahead of us to the Vaikuntha road. Maybe you may be in exit 101 or something. We may be still in exit 54. So we are helping each other. We are trying to reawaken our spiritual journey. For rest areas, get up now, go back onto the highway. So the highway is about, we have to keep God in the center, keep driving the spiritual road, and this will give us all good fortune. Our children will be one of the best, with the best of East and West, right? And so thank you all very much. Any further questions we can discuss while having prasadam and one-on-one. Mathaji will be doing the show for the children now. She will be showing us how again Krishna attracted all the people by taking care of the devotees, lifting Govardhan hill. And so while we watch it, I think prasadam also will be arranged while we are watching the show. And after the show, this is dedicated for the children. After the show, we'll have some little kirtan while you all have prasadam. Enjoy the kirtan and have prasadam. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. So we can all repeat 3 times Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.